Well, folks, I believe we are live. This is an interesting experiment. I don't think anyone's in here yet because there's only about, this is a members only live stream. There's only about 220 members. Hi, Eat More Pizza. I see you there. And pizza, believe it or not, it gave me a notice when I did this live. It said moderators who are not channel members will not be allowed to access the live stream. Cold-blooded, YouTube. My goodness. And so yeah, this is an interesting little experiment, you guys. Obviously, there's only like 220 channel members. Obviously, I'm going live with absolutely no notice. It's also 11:15 p.m. East Coast time. But I figured I've got to actually start figuring out how this members only thing works, and so I can figure out how it's gonna evolve in the future. Also, guys, one of the things I learned while conducting this little experiment is you cannot do this through StreamYard. StreamYard is how we're able to pull comments up on the screen. You cannot schedule a members only event through StreamYard. You have to do it directly through YouTube, which means I can't bring comments up on this screen, which is why I do all my live streams through StreamYard. Sometimes YouTube just does not make sense. How is it even possible that YouTube hasn't figured out how to allow the ability to bring comments up on the screen? It doesn't make any gosh darn sense, y'all. So also it's just interesting, doing a chat with an intentionally small group of people. My intention was that I would just kind of have this be a casual, Q&A thing. Maybe figure out some little survey I can do for the members stuff. It's amazing how many people just in the general comment section were kind of offended at the idea of turning on memberships. But really, it was a way for to create an alternative to having to do super chats all the time. So since this is a members only live stream, and if I can figure out how to do this when, in a couple days or whatever, I'll take this members only live stream and I'll download it and I'll upload it as a video for everyone to watch. But the idea was to have it be like right now it's normal comments and super chats. It's just normal comments and super chats. And because I don't watch the live stream, and because there's usually about 3,000 people in the live chat as it is, unless I have people in the back office starring comments, there's just really no way for me to see any of the comments. And the super chats are automatically starred by StreamYard and they get thrown into their separate column. So it looks usually like I have some rule of only reading super chats. And obviously that's not true. It's just they're the only comments that I can actually see. So I wanted to create I wanted to turn on memberships so that there was a way for someone who, let's say, wants to pay $3 a month instead of $3 per video, that it's easy for me to see your guys' comments. And I have asked my moderators, or I should say my StreamYard admins, who are in the back office helping me star comments. I said, please star comments of channel members, since I said that was the reason for the memberships in the first place, was to make your guys' comments easier to see. So the one thing I need to improve on is I need to get more people helping me star comments, because right now I think the only moderator that I've added who has StreamYard access is SBTV Tattoo Warrior, and she can't be on all videos all the time, obviously. So ideally, I'd have all my moderators as StreamYard admins. But the problem is StreamYard only lets you have 9 admins, and the people I have in there as admins are the people I do videos with most often, because the purpose of having them on my StreamYard team as an admin is when I schedule a video, I can schedule it on their channel at the same time. So anyway, that's why I'm kind of playing around with all of this. All that being said, let me just say hi to the people who are here, since you guys are the members, and this is a members only live stream. Eat More Pizza, of course, good to see you. Janice Halderman, Cat ACDC fan, Stephanie Slaughters, Miss Kim, Free Xenu Project, Michelle Aspel, Michelle Asbel, Oracle 1, Natalie Scott, Jen Sissick is how it's either Chiswick, it's probably Sissick, Marissa Martin. So yeah, it's interesting, right? Well, I'll tell you what, guys, since we're just playing around a little bit right now, let's just, and I don't want to do like an hours long thing here. It's 11:20. But if anyone's got any random, not random questions, but just questions, I feel like what I'm hoping is that doing members only stuff can somehow be a little more casual and relaxed than doing thousands and thousands of people. I say that even though I think the stuff that I do is already pretty casual and relaxed. Like I was thinking about this today, like would doing members only stuff feel like you could talk about stuff and maybe share thoughts about things that you maybe wouldn't want to share on a regular video? And I was like, I don't know, that seems a little risky. It's not like a members only live stream can't be republished somewhere. But I guess the only way that would happen is if one of the members was like screen capturing the video. And I don't know, it seems like a low probability. I guess saying anything in a live stream that you don't potentially want going out to the entire world would probably be a bad idea. And I don't know. That's why I was like, okay, we got to play around with this and just see how it works. Because also I've never been a part of any other channels. The only channel I've ever signed up as a membership for is Emily D. Baker. And getting some text messages. Give me one sec. I guess that's one thing I can do. I don't have to be so worried about interrupting live streams. Just answering a text. So I did want to have an opportunity to do a Q&A, but not the kind of just general questions that people always ask me about Scientology. But if you guys have any other questions about, behind the scenes stuff or whatever, it just seems like, how many people are in here right now? Yeah, there's only 26 people in here right now. It definitely feels more relaxed and casual than a regular live stream. So, and again, this is just the straight up YouTube live chat thing. There's no starred comments or anything. So let's see. I'm looking for. It just blows my mind that I can't pull something up on screen. Absolutely blows my mind. Stephanie Slaughter says, after your last live ended, I scrolled to the next live in my subscriptions. It was a bald eagle's nest with 257,000 likes. Oh, some of the things on YouTube that get unbelievable engagement. The other kind of video that has massive numbers, like the white noise videos. When I sleep, I use YouTube on my phone, and I have YouTube Premium, so I can keep YouTube playing even if my phone is locked. And I used to do this bedtime story for adults. Oh my God, I've got to pull this up. This is so damn funny. Okay, bedtime. What is bedtime stories for adults? I bet I'll remember. Oh yeah. Okay. I used to sleep. This was before I started using just straight up white noise. Calm Sleep Stories, Stephen Fry's Blue Gold. And it's basically this, guy with a great voice telling this story. 16 million views on that one. Okay. And then I started doing rain sounds for sleeping. And let me see, the favorite one. That the live stream right now has 17,000 people watching on the rain sounds for sleeping. 99% instantly fall asleep with rain and thunder sound. And then I switched over to a different reign. Yes. That only has, well, 539 watching. And then I found one that I like watching. White noise, black screen is what it's called. White noise, black screen. 216 million views, folks. Let's see how many likes this thing has. Yeah, 616,000 likes. That is what I sleep to every night, all night. I plug my phone in, pull up that YouTube video, and yeah, the bald eagle's nest. Yeah, setting up live stream cameras into different birds' nests or bird houses and woodpeckers and stuff. It's a brilliant YouTube idea. All right, let's see. Let's see if more people. 31. I'll tell you what, let me see. How many channel members do we? I think I checked this morning and it was like 220. Let me pull it up. $234, and we got 33 people in here right now with absolutely no notice. And also, it's so late at night, guys. Everyone in Europe is asleep. I saw some Australian people here. Maybe it is already maybe it's daytime in Australia. All right, let's see. Carmen with AK says Aaron needs way more people to join the membership. You know, it's funny. One of the reasons I didn't want to turn on memberships, guys, honestly, is my channel gets so many views that the vast majority of my YouTube income comes from ads. These smaller channels, super chats are kind of a big deal for them, because, well, just the smaller your YouTube ad revenue is, the greater percentage of your total revenue come from super chats. I mean, less than 10% of my YouTube revenue comes from super chats. And I think it's good. I think it's healthy for a channel to just care more about doing videos that get lots of views and watch hours and watch time, because that's your YouTube revenue is really based on watch hours. It's not based on views. And so you guys might find this interesting. You guys know I like to talk about YouTube business. And sometimes it feels a little more appropriate to talk about YouTube business with a smaller group than it does with a bigger group. You can have a channel that gets hundreds of millions of views per month. But if those views come from YouTube Shorts, those don't pay anything. They pay pennies, less than a penny on a dollar. And so because my channel views are from actual regular length videos and they're not from YouTube Shorts, I just think it's a healthy model to care more about doing content that is going to be distributed widely and watched a lot and getting ad revenue on the videos than it is hoping that viewers are going to do super chats. It's one of the reasons I've stopped doing so many live stream Q&As. It does kind of create I felt like it started to create the impression that they're being done for super chats, and they really weren't. And so I guess what I'm saying here is, because even the super chats are a very small portion of my YouTube revenue, I was like, why the fuck would I turn on memberships? I mean, how would that make any sense? And it wasn't until I figured out how memberships, or, you know, a $3 a month would benefit the viewers who comment all the time, that I was like, finally, I figured out a reason that makes this thing make sense. But it's also, guys, why you don't hear me pushing memberships, why I'm not really promoting them. Because if I'm promoting them, then it seems like I'm doing it for me. But I don't really want to do the memberships for me. And I feel like the people who want the memberships would understand they don't need me to tell them to get a membership. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, why did I get into talking about all that? Oh, because Carmen with AK said Aaron needs way more people to join the membership. Yeah, Guys, I don't know. I hope you guys don't mind when I talk YouTube business. I really like talking YouTube business. It's also why I've tried to get so many people else to start YouTube channels. Is because I guess I sort of feel like I have accidentally figured out how to live the dream. Now, my dream that I'm living is I may not do videos all day, but I sure as fuck think about them all day. I mean, I am luckily, I've been kind of trained through my Scientology upbringing to be really okay with fixating on something all the time. And there's worse things to be fixated on than doing videos exposing Scientology. But when I say live the dream, guys, I'm totally rambling here. I hope you guys don't mind, but I actually really enjoy talking about this stuff. You know, in Scientology, I worked like a dog for nothing. When I left Scientology and I started working for some business consulting groups, I worked like less of a dog. I worked less like a dog for pretty good money. And then after that, I got hired into a physical therapy company to sort of consult their clinic managers, and I worked even less like a dog for a lot more money. And then I came back to Clearwater and I started working for some Scientology companies, and then I got into the hedge fund world, and I started working like an absolute dog again, but for a lot of money. And then I sort of backed away from that, and I started doing real estate and real estate investing, and I started working almost not at all for decent money. And then I started doing YouTube, and at first it was just a passion project, and I wasn't monetized for like 4 or 5 years. Even when I qualified for monetization, I didn't turn it on because I was like, I don't need the money, and I don't want Scientology to say I'm just doing it for the money. But then once I did turn monetization on, and then when I started uploading every day, I was like, when I compare this to my previous professional experience, when I was doing the hedge fund stuff, I mean, I was making disgusting amounts of money. And at first, if you really need the money and someone's paying you a lot of money, you're like so thankful. You're like, oh, this is the best. I'll do anything. I'll pull all-nighters. I'll work through the weekends. I won't take off holidays. And that's fine when it's new and you feel like this is amazing. When you no longer actually, but even when I started making like hedge fund money, I still lived like I was making $50,000 a year. So I saved up a lot of money. And then, so they, basically my clients owned me. I was on call 24/7, 365. I literally worked. I would go on vacation and then work through the vacations. So once you no longer like actually need that money, it's like, oh my God, who would want to live this way? Who would who would want to live this way? And so then being at the beck and call of your clients, like, yeah, you might work for yourself, but let's be real. If you work for yourself, you work for your clients. And if your clients are paying you a lot of money, they own your ass. You don't not take their phone calls. You don't not answer their emails. You don't not make deadlines. And so then with YouTube, when it started really blowing up, and we're talking about ad revenue, not like super chat revenue, but just ad revenue on videos, I was like, wait, so somebody can just, not anybody, but well, theoretically anybody, do videos whenever you want, about whatever you want, for as long as you want, from home, no clients, no phone calls, no appointments, no deadlines, no assignments, no upset customers, bosses, or whatever. And and that's when I was like, every former Scientologist in the world needs to know that this can be done. And they need to know that you don't have to be someone who worked with David Miscavige to do it. Like, I would be interested to know if there was a survey done of these other former int level Sea Org members and Scientologists of like, why? I feel like there's so many different ways I want to go with this. In a way, if I can do this, anyone should be able to do it, or any former Scientologist or former Sea Org member or former int level Sea Org member. Like, I didn't work with LRH. I didn't work with David Miscavige. I've never met Tom Cruise. I wasn't at Int Management. I wasn't at Middle Management. I wasn't at Continental Management. Now, I'm just listing off the things that someone who might be a detractor of mine might say is against me. Oh, he was never anything. Now, I could describe my involvement in Scientology in other ways that would explain that my involvement was significant and the things I did were significant. But technically speaking, if you were to write down a checklist of, oh my God, what would the criteria, what would the qualifications be for someone who could, make good, informative, accurate, was one word I was missing there. Well, anyway, just Scientology content that would do really well. There's a lot of other people who might check those boxes better than me. And yet for some reason, this channel continues to grow in a way that is different than other channels of more so-called higher qualified people grow. I'd be curious to go to those other people and go, why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? And I'm getting a little bit off the subject here, but my point is that when the YouTube thing, when this channel started to approach at least the revenue I was making in real estate, I was like, all I thought of is how many other former Sea Org members and staff members and Scientologists are stuck in the rat race, just the 9-to-5 grind, which I was in for a long time. The 9-to-5 grind. Honestly, I was in that grind until ironically, until I got declared and expelled from Scientology, because that's when I was forced to go into business for myself. And it wasn't until I went into business for myself that I was like, oh, this is a whole new world. And I was like, how many other former Scientologists are maybe lack a lot of hope for the future because they don't see how they can ever do something different than what they're already doing. And I was like, but look, if you're here on YouTube, you're talking about stuff you already know about. We're just talking about Scientology. And I was just on staff in Philadelphia. I spent a bunch of years at Flag, not in the Sea Org officially, but it was a Sea Org experience. I spent 4 years in the Sea Org in Los Angeles. Obviously, I have the experience of growing up in Scientology. I did a whole bunch of training in Scientology. I had a lot of auditing, but not a lot of bridge auditing. And so like my level of expertise, I guess this is really what I'm trying to say. My level of expertise in Scientology is common. I guess that's what I'm saying. Anyone who spent, 10 years on staff or in the Sea Org has expertise that is equivalent to or greater than mine. And so when the YouTube thing, the channel started to really, succeed, I was like, they all need to know. I forgot what I was talking about, all that, guys. I think this is still everything I had to say in response to this question, this comment about Aaron needing to get more memberships. Yeah. I don't need to get more memberships, but I do want to get more memberships because honestly, I feel like it's cool. I tried to Google yesterday, how many members do the biggest channels have? It's impossible to get an answer because channel memberships is not a public number. So like I want Emily D. Baker just has like a large, successful channel. She's got a great, thriving, supportive community. I was like, I want to know how many memberships Emily D. Baker has. And I don't think it's possible to find out. And by the way, since there are only, a handful of us in here, I am going to go through all the questions and comments in the live chat. So don't you guys worry. Okay, so Emily Baker's got 747,000 subscribers. But I want to know how many members she has. I bet it's thousands and thousands. And the reason I would love to be able to do members only stuff and have it actually be thousands. That would create a whole other problem though, right? Because then we'd be right back to the problem of how do you see everyone's comments in live chats? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Cat ACDC fan says, "How is your life going?" Whoo, loaded question. I'm stressed as fuck these days. I am so stressed out these days. I'm in a bit of a transition period right now, as you guys obviously know. Um, a lot of good stuff happening. It's just a lot of stuff happening at once. I've been doing a lot of traveling back and forth to California. It's honestly very stressful because I like to stay singularly focused. I like to work out of my comfortable space. I like to be able to play with my entire day. I don't like to burn a couple days of travel every couple weeks. I'm getting my in-house interview space set up. I got all my equipment arrived today. I'm looking at 3 new cameras, 3 tripods, 2 new big lights, 2 light holders, and the big light softeners. And Andrew Gold is coming to town this weekend. We're gonna get all this stuff. He's gonna be my first in-house interview. Yes. So how is your life going? Fortunately, I can do whatever I want whenever I want. That's like when I feel like I'm getting stressed, the first person, like my response to the fact that I feel so stressed right now is, what the fuck is your problem that you're even letting yourself get stressed? You can do whatever you want whenever you want. You could just not do videos for 3 days and that would be okay. The world would keep turning. You could actually, like, it's been weeks since I've been to the gym. Now, I mean, the gym's 10 minutes from me. I usually go to the gym every day. I haven't even gotten like sunlight in like 2 weeks. Why? There's no excellent reason. I generally, my time gets spent up on just stupid shit that I don't need to be doing. I find it harder to focus. The older I get, the harder I find it is to focus and stay organized. I'm very overwhelmed with the idea of how to properly recognize all of the new streaming channels. Um, there's so many more popping up than I could actually keep track of. I haven't figured out how to do them all justice. How do I give them the exposure and the attention that they deserve without having my channel completely just be redirected to a streaming protest channel, which I got to be honest, it doesn't seem like a lot of people love that. Um, and, there's also another problem is, I have very specifically not tried to tell anyone how they should protest. But it's occurred to me that, as some of these new live streaming channels pop up, if they start getting stupid aggressive, they start, doing stuff they shouldn't do. I don't want to be the guy who's like telling people what they should or should not do. It's not really my role. It's not really anyone's role. Anyway, I'm kind of stressing over a lot of this stuff. So, but that's like internal problem. That's like I'm stressing out. Any stress that I have in my life is kind of stress I'm putting on myself. And that's kind of what's bugging me mostly these days is like, why am I allowing myself to get so fixated on things that are not helping me get to where I'm trying to go when all it would take is like a second for me to just change that. Also, just because of the sickness lately, my sleep schedule's all screwed up. I'll sleep until noon. I won't get to bed until like 4:30 or 5, even if I'm trying. I'll sleep until noon. And I can always be like, oh, poor baby, you can sleep until noon. See, I'm aware that I'm fortunate that if I need to sleep until noon, I can. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, you'll never hear me actually complain. I'm just answering your question honestly. But then it's like by the time I get my ass out of bed and showered and fed, it's like 1:30. I'm like, where did the day go? Oh my God. Anyway, so how is your life going? In many ways, life couldn't really be better in the sense that I really all anything I decide to do, I'm capable of doing. At the same time, I'm more stressed right now than I've ever been. And I'm sure the sickness hasn't been helping. Um, but don't worry about me, guys. I'll get this shit all figured out. Um, all right, let's see. Miss Kim says, Aaron, thanks for highlighting my channel between you and Nerd Report. I'm almost at 700 subscribers after a couple weeks. That is awesome. Miss Kim, I'm still not sure that I've seen any of your videos, so I apologize. I keep telling people, send me an email and put this in the subject, and I will not miss it. And the truth is, if I saw the email, I wouldn't miss it. I I don't even check. Haven't even had a chance to read like 10% of my emails the last week. Like it's embarrassing. And that's actually a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Getting stressed as fuck. It stresses me out even knowing that I haven't read like 90% of the emails that have been sent to me. And then I go, how am I going to scale with this? And why am I having so many problems with this time management, communication management thing now, as opposed to like, I don't know, I don't know, 3 months ago, 6 months ago. It's not like my channel is so much bigger now than it was 3 months ago or 6 months ago. What's happening now that's different than before? And I'm just not sure that I've figured it out. Yeah. Yeah. You guys got to hear me complain. Oracle One says, what are your favorite topics to cover? Off the top of my head, I think my answer is Scientology lawsuits. They're really, really fun. They're complex enough that there's a lot of interesting things to talk about. Um, there's enough new developments that there's always something new. I like bringing on other people to get their opinions. I also feel like it provides me a learning opportunity, a learning experience. I love digging in and learning stuff. That sounds like a stupid. I love learning, but like really, being able to talk to Zach and get his input on different legal things, being able to talk to former prisoners and getting their input on life in prison. Obviously, that's a reflection of covering the Danny Masterson trial. I really do like that. It's real time, breaking news stuff, new developments. It's really enjoyable. It seems like with the lawsuits, with the Danny Masterson thing pretty much behind us. And the handful of lawsuits that exist, there just hasn't been a lot happening. I haven't been doing a lot of those videos. And some of the developments are so small, or there's just hundreds and hundreds of papers of filings that it's just not worth going into. There's probably a whole lot of developments that I haven't even covered, honestly, because I've just been kind of overwhelmed the last few months. But yeah, I really do like talking about the law stuff. Obviously, in general, I could say I like talking about the Scientology stuff, but that's mostly because a lot of people are really fascinated by it. I kind of like the what the fuck look on people's faces when I start to explain certain parts of Scientology. Like it's just kind of honestly fun to talk about. Yeah. What else? It's really hard talking about the child abuse stuff. There's a new channel that launched from my friend I knew in the Sea Org, Jenny Strom. And she's going to be a big player in a lot of things that are happening in the next few years. She started a channel. Oh, this was the channel that I posted in my community tab a couple weeks ago that I said it was a surprise, a new person starting a channel, going to be a big deal. It was a surprise. She's put up the first 3 videos on her channel. And the third video that she put up, oh my God. It does have to do with the child abuse stuff. And even listening to it was so hard. Partially even because, aside from the content itself, is like I was totally oblivious to that shit was going on or was even possible. And I'm talking about child abuse other than what you'll hear about auditing sessions and sec checks of kids and child auditors and stuff like that. I'm talking about like the molestation stuff. Honestly, I didn't know that stuff that it was even possible for that stuff to be going on, because as a good little Scientology staff member and Sea Org member, I really bought into this whole we're the most ethical, blah 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 blah. And I'm trying to recall the only person when I was in the Sea Org, the only person that I became aware of had done something sexually inappropriate with a minor. I was aware of it because I was the technical secretary. I was over all of the auditing and the training at ASHO on L. Ron Hubbard Boulevard. And this guy was being sec checked in the HGC by a professional auditor. And he was being sec checked because he was about to be declared. And so he was being sec checked as like a justice action, not as a confessional therapeutic action. And like he was in trouble. He was in a lot of trouble. He was going to be declared and expelled for what he had done, but not before they checked him up one side of the wall and down the other and got as much of his at his expense and got as much of his money as possible. So even some of the things that I was exposed to actually reinforced for me the idea we would never put up or tolerate with this shit. And it turns out an awful lot of it was put up and tolerated. And I want to find the name of that channel real quick just to remind you guys. I mean, you can find it in the community tab, but let me just look it up real quick. Her name is Jenny Strom, but it's not the name of her channel. Oh, here we go. Her channel is called Cults and Atheists, A Search for Knowledge and Healing. And the YouTube handle is at Cults AND Atheists. I actually really would recommend that you guys watch her videos. There's 3 videos, but one of the videos is only 3 minutes long. And then the first video is 2 hours long. I actually skipped that one. I didn't watch that one because it's called How It Began. And she texted me and said that the second video was really hard for her. And that's the one that I watched. And it's an hour and 23 minutes long. You guys have to watch that video because there's going to be a lot of stuff happening in the future that I believe relates to what she says in that video. Oh, and I'm mentioning that because Jenny and I are going to do a chat pretty soon on my channel. And I was like, hey, we don't have to get into all that stuff in our chat, especially if you don't want to, because I can just tell everyone to watch your videos on your channel. And maybe we can have kind of a more of a lighthearted chat about Sea Org stuff instead of getting into the child stuff. It's hard, right? Because a lot of what we want to do on SPTV is to shine as bright of a light on all that stuff as possible and make it sort of front and center. But it's so hard to talk about. And it's so hard to listen to. And it's so emotionally draining. I don't know how Serge does what he does. Like, I couldn't do videos about that every day. I couldn't. And as you can see, I don't. But it really is important to shine a light on all that stuff. All that being said, ironically, I don't think the child abuse stuff is what's going to be that takes what it's going to be that takes Scientology down. I think it's going to be the credit card fraud and the bank fraud and the wire fraud that takes Scientology down. So yeah, I think that was all in response to the question, what do you enjoy talking about the most? So that was that. All right, let's see. Freezy New Project says, when you were at the test center, do you think that was effective when you were offering people to join the cult? That was actually my favorite part of the whole thing. And if I could go out every single day outside of a Scientology organization that had foot traffic and hand out either real Scientology flyers or fake Scientology flyers, asking people if they wanted to join our cult, I would do that every day. To me, as a former Scientologist, it is so funny. And also, in a way, so honest that it is like the perfect form of protest. I can't get enough of it. So when you say, do you think it was effective? I mean, what was the effect supposed to be? It's almost a way of protesting that isn't aggressive or offensive, which I've come not to mind that much. It's sort of good natured. It's in good humor. It's hilarious to the people. And actually, the best way to do this would be with real Scientology promo, because even the staff members would be like, well, if he's actually handing out promo, maybe we can count it as a stat. Might even get to the point. If I was outside an organization Thursday morning before 2, because their weekends at 2, and I'd be like, all right, guys, I'm here to help you get your stats up. I'm going to do it the hard way, though. All right. Hello. We want to join our cult, sir? Thank you very much. Tom Cruise is going to teach classes every Wednesday at 3. Thank you. Bring your credit card. We are offering lines of credit now. Oh my God. It is the absolute best. Jen Sissick says, do you show houses for Dream Realty? Well, I did. My poor broker wishes that I would promote Dream Realty in my videos. And I told him, I'm like, I'll do it like 3 times a week. I've just been too lazy to sit down and cut a new Dream Realty promo video that I can play in my videos a few times a week. Now, what I told my broker is I said, look, I would much rather spend my time doing videos than spend my time showing houses. Although I love doing real estate and I love showing houses. And I said, look, the reason I haven't been promoting it is because I would actually feel bad. Like if I got 5 clients and I had to go out and show them all houses and I couldn't do videos for several days, I'd actually be pretty pissed off. And he said, well, I'll tell you what, just do the promo, and any leads that you get, any actual interested buyers, send them to me and I'll give you a cut of the commission. I was like, sounds good to me. That was like 2 months ago, and I haven't promoted it in any of my videos just because I'm too damn lazy to take the 20 minutes I would procrastinate. So it would probably take me an hour and a half to cut, to record. See, when I pre-record things, I get in my head and I'll do it over and over and over and over again. If I do it live, I'll just do it once. But if I give myself an opportunity to over tinker, I will over tinker. So and the other hesitation that I had in doing what he said, what he requested, is I would go, damn, if my viewers reached out to me wanting to, do real estate business, wanting me to represent them, they'd probably be pretty pissed off if I was like, hey, thank you for reaching out to me. Here's my broker, Sheldon. He's a great guy. He's going to show you the houses. And I was like, is that going to be a bait and switch? Are people going to be pissed off? And I thought maybe what I would do is, I would meet the person, maybe go out with them and Sheldon on the first day, and then be like, Sheldon's going to take it from here. But, I wanted to make sure I got an opportunity to meet you and spend some time with you. So the answer is, the answer is, as of, I don't know, the last 18 months, I haven't shown anything at all. And, but honestly, it is something I still intend to do. I still do want to use the platform to promote the real estate business. It just seems like a smart thing to do. And yeah, so that's the answer to that one. Let's see. I'm looking for actual questions. Mr. Clean says, oh, look at this, members only. It's like a secret club. Absolutely. Totally a secret club. I'm seeing all your comments about the white noise. Janice Halderman says, I work at night, sleep during the day. Some days I only get 3 hours of sleep. I haven't found anything to help me sleep. Yeah, and I know you guys have heard me say this a million times. The other problem is I'm a night owl. I love staying up at night. I love it. I love it. I love it. There's just something peaceful about it. Even if it's like 11 o'clock and I'm like, oh man, it would be great to go to sleep right now. I'd lay down and then I'd have a thought. Oh, what about this? And I'll open my phone and then I'll be like, oh, it's YouTube time. And I'll go down a YouTube rabbit hole for 3 or 4 hours, even if it's just watching the Squirrel Squads videos, because I can't get enough of those. I did recently, for the first time in my life, buy one of those masks that you can sleep with to block out the sun. Someone recommended get a weighted one, right? So it feels like you have a nice weight on your face. So I've got one that's a little bulky, a little heavy. I think getting a weighted one was a mistake. I like to sleep on my side, and it's a little bulky, so it kind of like bunches up, and it's kind of like, but it is effective in keeping out the light. So if especially since I've been sick lately and I've, tried to sleep a bit during the day every now and then, the eye mask does actually help. I look completely silly, but who cares, right? Oh my God, Lunar35 says, I watch hoof trimming videos. It is calming for some reason and also has large numbers of subscribers. Oh, I watch those hoof trimming videos. Believe me, the best ones are where they find a pocket of infected pus, if you know what oh yeah, those are the good ones. It's so gross. It is so gross. And it's amazing how many hoof trimming channels there are. I went down all a rabbit hole of all those channels many a late night. Annie Bell says, "Hey folks, nice to see you all. Hope you're feeling better, Aaron. On the way to feeling better. Yeah, I've got a regimen every 4 to 6 hours right now. I alternate between the Advil and the Tylenol, but then I've added Sudafed and Benadryl and zinc and vitamin C. I feel like there's something I'm missing. Hold on, I got my little regimen because I've been taking notes of what times I take everything so I don't accidentally take the wrong thing. Yeah, Sudafed, Benadryl, vitamin C, zinc, and then I alternate between the Tylenol and the Advil. I know I still sound bad, but I'm feeling much, much better, and that's what matters to me. Let's see. Miss Kim says, last year I would replay your older videos before you were live a lot to go to sleep. You have a calming voice. Thank you. That's the other good thing about being sick is it makes my voice a lot more baritone than normal. I actually love it. I think it sounds great, but everyone's like, oh my God, you sound terrible. Like sick terrible. I'm like, oh really? I just thought I sounded like real like Pavarotti or something. um all right, let's try. Have you tried ASMR? I hate ASMR. I don't. Isn't it supposed to be calming? I can't stand hearing people's mouth noises and the whispering. I can't. It like gives me the heebie-jeebies. It must be something about ASMR that I'm totally missing. Because for me, I think at first I thought ASMR was just very calm sounding voices. Oh, kind of like the sleep video, the adult sleep video that I would watch. What was it called? Let's go bedtime. Um, the video, yeah, of like this British guy. Yeah, Stephen Fry. Stephen Fry's Blue Gold. By the way, I think blue gold is the indigo, the fields of indigo in northern Italy. I thought ASMR was just a calm, like soothing voice. And then I tried like just pulled up ASMR and it was all like freaking mouth noises and shit. I don't know, maybe I was watching the wrong stuff. Um let me see. I remember Aaron saying something about watching mukbang videos. I personally have never found those videos entertaining or watched them, but I learned about them. I had heard of this genre of like, well, I think the fetish side of the mukbang was watching some like small Asian woman just basically eat 20 pounds of food. And then, so people have the weirdest like YouTube fetishes. And then you can just find like just giant obese people just like stuffing their face with pasta and steak and everything. So I I've never watched any of those videos for entertainment. It's been any of those videos I watched was kind of like, what's this about? But I think you heard me mention it of you might have heard me and me joking with Reese that we could do like SPTV mukbang videos because she's always talking about eating all the time. And I'm a voracious eater, so that would be really funny. But no, it's definitely not something that I ever actually got into. And you know I would admit it if I did, okay? I admitted to the hoof trimming videos. And a lot of people think that's really, really gross. Amy Hoffman says it's 2:30 p.m. here in Australia. Wow, you're 14. Okay, so that was probably 30 minutes ago. So 11:30, 12, 1, 2. Wow, you guys are 15 hours ahead. That's crazy. Okay, let me try finding some questions. Oh, Aaron, my husband was wondering, this is from Mara West. My husband was wondering the investment of equipment to get set up. Okay, good. I'll tell you real quick. When I first got set up, I already had my desktop that I'd had forever. It was like a 10-year-old Dell desktop. So that was nothing. My camera was my phone. Wait, so for the longest time, I think I just used my Windows desktop computer. And so whatever, I mean, everyone's got a desktop computer, right? Or if you don't, you probably have a laptop. Everyone's got a computer, right? So the initial investment, I would say, don't start doing videos for real without a microphone. And you can get a microphone for 20 bucks. That's perfectly good. This microphone's probably 280 bucks. The stand is probably 90 bucks. I still to this day, if my phone would properly connect to my computer like it used to, would still be using my phone as a camera. As it is right now, I am using my laptop as a camera. Now, I did get a MacBook 16-inch Pro. They're expensive. I mean, is this computer 1600 or 2600? It's one or the other. 2600 would be embarrassing. And I got that just because I needed something I knew was going to work for a long time. But again, if you're asking what's the investment to get started, you don't need a MacBook Pro to get started. When I got started doing videos every day, if you guys remember, I wasn't doing lives, I was video editing. Will I pay Adobe Premiere Pro $20 a month for a subscription to their editing software? So guys, honestly, I know it sounds silly, but really buying a microphone, especially if you're going to buy an expensive microphone, is probably your biggest investment. I use these lights. I have two of them. They're like $20 a piece. I've got one right here and I've got one right there. I mean, you could get started for 500 bucks or less. And that would take you a long way. Now, guys, I'm getting my in-house studio set up to do in-person interviews. And I spent more money than I wanted to on the equipment, but I've also got Andrew Gold telling me what to get. And I'd rather spend too much money to get the really good stuff and never regret it than get the cheap stuff and then have to get the expensive stuff anyway. So I got 3 cameras over there that are $500 each. I got 3 tripods that are $20 each. I've got 2 light stands that are about $150 each. And then the 2 lights themselves are probably $300 each. I've got an audio recorder power thing that's $1,000. And I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I spent, so what, 500, 1,500. I mean, I spent $4,000 or so on the stuff for the in-house studio, maybe 5,000. It's probably not 5,000. More than 3, less than 5. And you guys will get to see how that looks in the next week or so. Oh yeah. So the stands, that's right. The stands for the lights were like $150 each. The lights themselves were like $300 each. And then you had to buy like for another $150 each, this big cloud diffuser that goes over the light. I never dreamed that I would be spending so much money on freaking lighting. I mean, for the longest time, I didn't even use any lights at all. I maybe used like the $15, circular light that, TikTokers used to use or something like that. It's StreamYard. StreamYard, if you're going to do live streaming, you want to get a subscription to StreamYard. You can get a StreamYard subscription for $0. I think the next thing is $10 or $20 a month, and I pay for the $100 a month. And there's just different back-end things that made it make sense for me to pay the $100 a month. But really, you could get started for a few $100, $500. It's one of these things where you can spend a lot of money if you want, but it's just not necessary to do so. Thank you for that question, Meryl. Let's see. Oh, Freezy New Project says, do you use YouTube or another program to cut your videos? Yes, just like you said. I use Adobe Premiere Pro. And everything I've ever learned about Adobe Premiere Pro, I learned by literally sitting here and Googling, how do I do fill in the blank on Adobe Premiere Pro? I've never even sat down and even walked through an Adobe Premiere Pro tutorial like a normal smart person would do. I was like, no, just ask Google, how do you do the very next thing you can't figure out to do? And eventually you'll be able to put it all together. So yeah, the answer is Adobe Premiere Pro is how I edit my videos. Okay, Pizza says, have you done any interviews with ex-cult members and later found out that they were never in the cult? Have you called them out asking for a friend? No. No, I've never interviewed anyone who turned out not to be in the cult. The only one who even comes close to that is Alex, Apostate Alex. Alex was definitely a Scientologist. He was definitely on staff. He absolutely exaggerates the majority of how he represents his time in Scientology and what happened to him in Scientology. And if you've noticed that a lot of SPTV creators have a problem with Alex, it's not because of his lack of involvement. It's how he misrepresents his involvement. I mean, I'm very forthright about what exactly my involvement was. There's many ways in which I was very, very involved, but I was never in continental management, middle management, or international management. I didn't know Tom Cruise, David Miscavige, or Shelley Miscavige. And there's no part of my Scientology experience that I have exaggerated or misrepresented in any way, shape, or form. The same cannot be said for Alex. And people do not have a lot of tolerance or patience for just bullshit in this community. That's not the kind of community this is. The thing that's really tough is Alex does really excellent work. And he's a bulldog and he's persistent. Now, behind the scenes in real life, he's persistent in a way that borders on stalking. But when he's setting his sights on, like, city council members, that's great stuff. So the short answer to your question is no, I've never encountered someone who pretended to be a Scientologist, but actually wasn't. It would be almost impossible to pull that off. It really would be. Okay. Ann Bell says, I was critical of memberships until I realized that it helps some of us get our comments out without the super chats. Yes, indeed. Great benefit for us regulars. Thank you. Yes. And that's why I definitely want all my moderators to know that when you're looking for non-super chat questions to star, please focus on the members. That's the whole reason for creating another, I guess, class. It sounds so bad to say it that way. Class of viewer is so that you don't have to super chat every time just for me to see your thing. So, and as you guys know, that's why the memberships are like, what is it, from $2.99 to like $24.99? And yeah, thank you for the comment, Anne. All right, let's see. Nancy's Corner says, I love the YouTube talk. I love playing with my camera. Nice. Rain says, just got home from parent-teacher conference and found this member live. Aaron got me addicted to SPTV. Thank you, Rain. Glad to have you here. Let's see. Max's mom says, comment, you should donate the revenue from the membership to your new charity. Then you can promote it to a good cause. Wow, that's interesting. That would be a really good gimmick, wouldn't it? Like gimmick meaning like a sales tactic, but like a positive sales tactic. The problem with that is that YouTube takes 30% of the memberships. So it's an inefficient way to support the foundation. Now, maybe you could look at it like, well, it doesn't matter if it's inefficient as long as, because you guys are still getting the benefit of the membership. YouTube takes its cut. The rest goes to the foundation. It seems like I would do that only if the purpose behind it was to juice the membership number itself just for its own sake. I have to think about that one. It's not a terrible idea. But again, it's almost like, wouldn't I just, if someone wants, see, that actually might be a bit of a conflict of interest now that I think about it, guys. Let me think about this. So if I'm the head of the foundation and I'm telling people to basically support the foundation by becoming a member, but 30% of that money goes to YouTube, wouldn't it seem like I'm somehow using the foundation to build my channel and also somehow giving YouTube a cut of the money that should just go to the foundation? I'll have to give that some thought. It's not a terrible idea, but it might be a problem. I'll think about it. Thank you for the recommendation, though. Miss Kim says, without your encouragement, I never would have thought of having a channel. The auditing gave me the reason. Oh, the live stream protest and the auditing. That's awesome. That is excellent. Oh, someone is asking how many people are on here. Can you guys not see it? It says there's 62 people on here. And as of how many members did I say? 234 members. We've got 62 here. That's about a quarter of all the members. Not bad, guys. Welcome, everyone. Let's see here. Looking for questions. Okay. The Boobologist, love the name. I want to start a YouTube on nursing and or breastfeeding because I'm a postpartum and lactation nurse. Okay, hence the name. There's so much I can do with that and don't know how to pare it down. How do you do it? Well, I'm not sure what you mean by how to pare it down. I guess I think that's the only part of your question I don't know what you mean. Because I agree there is so much you can do about it. When you say pare it down, I'm not sure if you mean how do I decide what to do or how do I edit the videos? Throw a follow-up comment on explaining what you mean and I'll find it since there's so few of us in here. I can afford to just scroll through all of them, all the comments. Let's see. I lost my spot, so I'm just having to find it again. Mr. Clean. By the way, I feel like a lot of people would say that I look like Mr. Clean. So I wonder if you also look like Mr. Clean. Aaron, you found the perfect thing for your personality and style. You are easily one of the best YouTubers I've seen and watch regularly. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. I do appreciate it. I can tell you that I feel like I've taken a lot of inspiration from my favorite YouTubers. Or maybe my favorite YouTubers are just people that I see a little bit of me in them. Like, I'm not sure how many times I've mentioned Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen, former UFC fighter. He's one of the best off the cuff live broadcaster talkers you've ever seen. His style, his ability to find what he wants to say, his ability to tell a story, his ability to remember what he was saying, why he was saying something. I often say, "Oh, I forgot why I was saying that," but I can always get back to it eventually. His ability to start a story out and make a point and come back and connect all the dots. He's an example of someone that I watch and I go, I want to do more of my videos like him. And he's got a hugely successful channel. Yeah. Yeah. And I know when I say that if I can do it, anyone can do it, I know that's not literally true. Like, just you could be a SEER member that spent 30 years working at international management and you just could be a total doofus on camera and nobody wants to watch you. I understand. I have had people, and I say this not to pat myself on the back, but just to try to kind of point out that I'm not just like totally naive about this. I have had industry people tell me that they don't think I truly understand how uniquely good I am at doing what I do in front of a camera. Now, that sounds like a real douchebag thing for me to say. But I just want to say, I've had like professional industry people say, I think you're selling yourself short if you say anybody can do this, because I promise you, anybody cannot. And I go, well, look, I take your compliment. I know what you mean, but theoretically, if someone's not good on camera or whatever, that's something that theoretically they should be able to get better at. Now, would everybody want to get better at it? Would everybody be able to put in the time and the effort and the care or what are the persistence to get better at it? Probably not. So I'm being kind of like intentionally generous when I say anybody can do it, because I want to help anybody try to do it. I want to help anybody succeed in doing it. Obviously, not everyone's going to, for a variety of different reasons. But Yeah. Oh, that's right. What is the comment I was responding to here? Damn, I missed it. How can I miss it when there's so few of us in here right now? Uh, oh, you found the perfect thing for your personality and style. You're easily one of the best YouTubers I've seen and watch regularly. Yeah, I really do appreciate that. One of my greatest um, pieces of pride is having grown to a point on YouTube where I have the attention of other channels I am fans of. That honestly is like, oh my God, it couldn't get any better than this. And yeah, I appreciate your comment. Thank you. Carmen with AK says less work plus doing something you love equals more money equals living the dream. Exactly. Exactly. I totally agree. Okay. Let me see. Miss Kim says, Miss Kim says to Boobologist, I would suggest just going live and talking about your subject until you can figure out a step by step. Let people interact with you. Yeah, good advice. Okay, let's see. Looking for questions. Freezy New Project says, I think it's your consistency. The more you do something, the better you get. And you're always there. And your integrity. Thank you for that. And I think you nailed it when you said consistency. Um, there's no way to know what you're doing wrong or how to do it better without just doing it and doing it and doing it more and more and more and more and more. I tell people, I just have this phrase I started using. The internet has no memory. You could do a video yesterday. Nobody remembers that video tomorrow. No, I know that's not literally true, but that's how you have to approach putting up content on the internet. No one knows who you are. No one remembers what you did yesterday. Do your videos with that in mind. Stop. Like nothing is more pretentious than someone on a channel talking about how, oh, I've done 3 videos about this. Who gives a shit? Nobody saw them. 80% of your subscribers didn't see the last 3 videos you did on this subject. Stop acting like because you spoke words on it, the words have been spoken and they've been heard. That's why you guys will hear me repeat myself all the time in my videos. Do you guys know every day, 30% of the people who watch my channel are watching it for the very first time? That's why I never reference earlier videos. Sometimes, and if I do, it'll be to explain why I'm talking about it again anyway. You'll hear me say things like, I've talked about this a million times, and I'll talk about it a million more times. You will never hear me express some sort of dissatisfaction with, how could someone not already know the answer I gave to this? It's like, this is the internet, bro. It's not a college class. You guys might be able to guess who the fuck I'm talking about. Okay. Max's mom says, you are open and you are honest. That makes you relatable and easy to watch. You don't come across as fake. Well, I do appreciate that. And I will tell you that the people who meet me in real life will say with surprise, oh my God, you're actually the same person in real life that you are on screen. And it's true because I am. Carmen with an AK says, I started watching you when you were at 39,000 subscribers. Now you are at 240,000. That is awesome. And that is honestly why I wanted to create memberships. Because I feel like the people who've been watching me for like 5-6 years, those people are willing to spend $2.99 a month. And in exchange, I can make sure their comments are highlighted and interact with you. See, the members are the ones I actually want to be interacting with as regularly as possible. That's actually what started to dawn on me. Is like, yes, some of my videos have a unnaturally large audience, but most of the people who watch my videos aren't even subscribed to my channel. And most people who watch my videos, that might be the only video they ever see of mine. If I'm going to interact with people, it really makes sense for it to be whatever the core group of people are who are actually really, really, really interested in watching the channel. And so, Carmen, like if we hadn't done memberships here, like I would have no way of knowing that you specifically have been watching me since 39,000 subscribers. And that is really cool. I think I saw a comment yesterday of someone who said they've been watching since 2000 subscribers. Let's see. All right. Looking for some more. Miss Kim says, Andy Signore from Popcorn Planet. is very like you in the way he runs his channel. That's interesting. Yeah, someone says Andy probably has quite a few members as well. Yeah, that. Andy lives not that far from me. One of these days we'll actually meet up. I think he lives within an hour of me. Okay. Carmen with AK says, have you and Emily Baker been in contact? I know she doesn't have guests on her channel, but it would be fun to see a collaboration with you two. On Twitter today, a pretty large channel asked who they should talk to about Scientology. Emily Baker responded to that tweet saying, you have to talk to Growing Up in Scientology. So I cannot recall if Emily and I have ever actually shared messages or not, or if we have just sort of talked to each other or about each other on each of our channels. I would love to do a video with Emily, even if it was just something about shooting the shit about YouTube business. Even if she didn't want to talk about Scientology, I'd love to chat with her. I feel like one of these days we'll work something like that out. Okay, I'm looking for questions. Freezing New Project says, when is your trial with Dog due? She must be talking about Patrick Perry. My lawsuit's against the LAPD. It's not against Patrick Perry. And Patrick Perry, I actually have absolutely no information on what happened with Patrick Perry's hearing. I actually was thinking about that today. Okay, here's the actual thought that I had today while I was shopping at my local grocery store. I said, I should really ask my viewers to help me find out what the hell happened with Patrick Perry. And then I thought to myself, Jesus, if I ask any of my viewers to help me find out what happened with Patrick Perry, I'm going to have to admit that I've been too lazy to even find out the case number for Patrick Perry. And that's kind of embarrassing. And I'm not sure that I want to tell everyone that after all this time, I don't even have his case number. And then I tabled that. I said, we'll put a pin in that and we'll circle back. So if any of you out there can take the probably 10 minutes that it would take to find the right LA website, it's probably the same website that I already have bookmarked to look up all the lawsuits for Scientology. If anyone can let me know what happened with the damn Patrick Perry hearing, I would appreciate it because I don't know. I was never called to come out and testify. I was never informed of anything whatsoever, and I just don't know. Okay. Somehow I managed to lose my spot again, but that's okay. Ugh. I guess we've been going for an hour and 12 minutes. So even though there's only 60 some of us in here, there's a lot of comments. So I got to find where I was. Wow. I really need to get a move on here. Let me see. Solicitous says, moderators, am I doing something wrong? My comments keep disappearing. I don't know. Pizza, you can shoot me a message afterwards and let me know if there's anything going on with Solicitous's comments, but I've got no idea what the answer to that question is. All right, let's see. Miss Kim, Lori in Georgia says, Miss Kim got swatted in Austin with 6 or 7 cop cars. A grandma with a cane is so threatening. Is that true? Is that what happened, Miss Kim? I am so out of the loop. Miss Kim, please email me. I know I said that I'm not seeing my emails, but please email me. If you got swatted, if a bunch of cars showed up, can you please send me the link with the timestamp and I'll do a video about it? I would appreciate that. Okay. Skyrider 140 says, question, did you believe Serge and Nora right away at that famous brunch years ago? Oh, okay. So they weren't telling me anything about their own experience that they hadn't already told me before. I've believed everything Serge and Nora have ever told me about their experience. It was the reframing of things. Okay, we have a mutual friend that me, Serge, and Nora have spoken about a lot named Natalie Galbiati. It was a very attractive young lady, Scientology, professional Sea Org Scientology auditor in the Flag HGC. And she would be on the covers of all the Flag magazines. It was when Serge started talking about auditing sessions to me and pointing out the things that in the real world would never pass muster. The fact that, and this is at Flag, where all the auditing rooms were in the Fort Harrison. So what does that mean? All the auditing rooms were in hotel rooms. Now, they were auditing rooms. They weren't hotel rooms, but just think of it. You have all these auditing rooms that are happening in locked hotel rooms where the participant, the pre-clear, the one getting the auditing, is not allowed to leave. And then he started talking about, paying preferential rates. Flag is already $500 an hour for auditing. You can pay extra if you want to pick your auditor. Well, what kind of person would pay extra to pick an attractive 16-year-old female auditor? And then he started pointing out, when you start an auditing session, you got to get comfortable. That usually involves taking off your shoes and your socks and, loosening your pants. And then, of course, you've got the auditing session procedure itself, which pretty invariably gets into some sort of sexual stuff. It was just the way he was pointing things out to me. I hadn't thought about it that way before. And yeah, it wasn't about them giving me new information about their own experience. But thank you for that question. Okay, let's see. Carmen with AK says, if you missed it, Chris without a Hellcat and Cam were at the test center giving out cookies to people if they wanted to join a call. Yeah, that was like last week or whatever. That was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Oh, by the way, I just saw another comment about Dream Realty. If anyone does it personally interested or knows other people who are interested in buying or selling anything in Tampa Bay, you can. I mean, I know I already mentioned this earlier in the video, but it's been so long since I've promoted this. Aaron at dreamrealty.com is, an active email address. Anything that ever gets sent to that address will be received by me. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of stuff. I've been talking a long time, so I've answered a lot of these things. Oh, Perth Scientology Audit says, any tips for doing my first live stream? The best tip I can give you is don't worry about what you're doing or how you're doing it. Just do it. How I've described this to some newcomers is lean into your lack of knowledge. Oh, this is right. This is the advice I give Jenna Miscavige, for someone who has spent so much time or has so much experience doing so much major international mainstream media, is really, really nervous about YouTube. And when she was doing her first live by herself, when she was getting ready to do it, I was like, don't worry about the fact that you don't know how to do anything. You lean into it. Like literally turn on the thing and be like, I don't know if you guys can hear me. Can anyone hear me? Can you hear me? Please let me know. I don't know what I'm doing. Aaron told me it didn't matter. I'm only doing this because Aaron told me it didn't matter. Blame Aaron. I got no idea. Like, don't worry about pretending like no one knows what they're doing. And the only way to figure it out is by doing it. So let's see. Your actual question was, any advice for me? How do I get, oh, there it is. Any tips for doing my first live stream? One tip I would give you is, I think what you might want to do, don't have too much going on. Like maybe have your first live stream be just your camera. Like I'm doing this live stream from my laptop, but it's actually easier to live stream from your phone than it is from a laptop. Just set up your little tripod or hold your phone and be like, all right, this is a test. Congratulations, you guys. You are witnessing the first, the first of many, but the only first. And say, this is just a test. I'm just doing this to figure out what the hell I don't know. I feel like that would be an easier thing for your first live stream than like being out in a protest situation or, trying to figure out microphones or anything like that. That's the great thing about doing a live stream from your phone in a quiet area. The phone microphone, the phone microphone picks up your voice fantastically. It's kind of built specifically for that. So that's a little bit of advice for you. All right, let's see. Let's see. Um, so Gary Mackey. See, Gary Mackey, you did a super chat here, and I can't even bring it up on the screen. It's so weird. Can we count on the lights going out every once in a while? Epic and love it. If you guys wonder why my lights haven't been going out, I've spent the $6 that it took to buy a cord for one of the lights, and I have so many batteries that I was like, why bother? Oh, this light in front of me I put on 80% power. This light next to me is only on 20% power. So the batteries last forever in this thing. And the only reason the battery went out on me today is because I'd accidentally left it in for like 4 videos straight. So there you go. All right, let's see. Scrolling down. Dastardly Saboteur. Does YouTube still take 30% of the memberships? They do. Yes. And Solicitous says, question, why edit rather than leaving it as it is, like alive? Oh, the thing is when you're doing a pre-record, oh, if you wanted to, you could totally do a pre-record just live to tape and do it exactly as an upload. You might ask yourself, if that's what you're going to do, why'd you bother pre-recording in the first place? Why not just do it live? My answer to your question would be, when I'm doing a pre-record, I get in my head about if I'm about to stumble on a word, I'll be like, I'll do a second take and a third and a fourth and a fifth and a sixth. And if I start editing my videos, I'm a tinkerer. I'll edit out all the pauses and all the stops and all the ums and all the throat clearings and everything. Well, because again, like I said, if you're just going to go live to tape, then why are you bothering to tape? Why not just go live? I can think of reasons to go live to tape. Like if I am having sleep problems and I want to just for the hell of it do a video at 3:00 in the morning, but I don't want to go live, and then maybe I would do that. I actually thought that I would be doing a lot of that because I was a night out. I would stay up until 5 or 6 a.m. every night for a long time. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. I can record all my videos at night. I can schedule them for release during the day. And then I ended up literally never doing that even once. So yeah, that's an answer for you. Okay, Nancy's Corner. Do you have a name for the new foundation? Facebook is asking for which charity that I will be supporting on my next birthday. That is only a couple weeks away. I would like to choose yours. We do have a name for the new foundation. And I don't think I should say it until it's totally set up. And also, it won't, the foundation's not ready to accept donations yet. So Facebook wouldn't let you accept it anyway. Oh, this is a perfect example because we're talking to only like 60 people right here. I'm so tempted to tell you guys what it is, but I feel like I would regret saying it in a semi-public forum. How shall I put it? Let me put it this way. The name of the new foundation is going to be a reflection of the people who are the ones that actually support the foundation. And the people who support the foundation are the people who watch SPTV. If it were not for SPTV, nobody would have ever even fucking heard of the Aftermath Foundation. It was never mentioned in the Leah Remini in the Aftermath show. And so how does anyone even know about the Aftermath Foundation? Because of SPTV. And the name of the new foundation will reflect that because moving forward, that will only become more true, especially when you see who all the board members are. And we have about 10 board members. I really like that question. All right, let's see. Oh, am I actually caught up? Now I feel bad. Now I feel bad that I'm all caught up. I'm wondering if I skipped anything. Max's mom says, thank you for doing the memberships. I cannot afford regular super chats, but like to contribute. I have been a regular addicted subscriber since about 6 months before your daily lives. That's awesome. I'm glad we did it too. Oh, Ann Bell says, he's going to hate my question. Well, where's your question? He's going to love my question. All right, now I'm scrolling back. Now I'm looking for if I might have missed something you said, Ann Bell. Luckily, there's so few of us in there. I can scroll all the way back and it's not even a big deal. Oh. Ann Bell says, question. I think I heard somewhere that a name for the new foundation might be something like Sea Cruise. Is there any truth to that? No. Whoever you even heard that from, you should consider to be the worst source of information ever. You should never believe anything that person ever says to you about anything ever again. It's not even close. Oh, that is really funny. Okay, let's see. Oh, Batgoat, $10 super chat for tacos. Thank you for that. Thank you. Crystal Moon says, I started watching your channel after, I think that's Danny Masterson's trial. I'm a never in, but I'm a recovering Christian. Your positive vibes and joy became something to look forward to every day. Do you enjoy doing these every day? That's a really good question. I really enjoy doing the videos. I really, really, really enjoy doing videos. I won't lie. I will tell you this. When I do videos and they perform really well, I'm super happy. There's just something that it's just, you feel like, oh, I did it. It was good. Like when I say really well, like some videos will get like 300,000 views and you just feel like, oh, I'm killing the game. And then you do another video and it gets like 11,000 views. And you're like, what's wrong with me? So when I say I will not lie, I will tell you this. One, I love, love, love doing the videos. Two, I'm open to the idea that the reason I love doing them is because they do so well and it makes me feel good that they do so well. Because if I did video day after day after day after day and they got like 5,000 views, 10,000 views, 6,000 views, I feel like I would start hating it because I would start going, what's wrong with me? Like you guys who watched a lot of my stuff might have heard me say, what is it? What's this thing I say sometimes? It's like, my behavior changes with my mood and my mood changes like with the wind or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know. You can do the same video and it's like, I'm being really inarticulate about this. I feel like on some level, my emotions are like, my mood is like not very well regulated, you know? Like sometimes like at the end of the day and someone will ask me, well, how'd the day go? I'll be like, well, I'm kind of in a bad mood because the videos didn't do very well. And you go, should the performance of the videos really be regulating my mood? Probably not. But I don't know. Couldn't you say that about anybody and anything? I don't know. What makes you happy? What makes you not happy? I mean, maybe there's an aspect of because I'm passionate about the videos and because I like doing them, it just feels rewarding when they do really well. I feel like I'm getting a real clumsy answer to this question. Your question was, do you love doing these videos? I love doing these videos. I think the fact that the videos and the channel itself has been so successful over the last 2 years contributes to my love of the videos, but it doesn't detract from the fact that just fundamentally doing them, I love doing them. And I also love the opportunity that it's provided to expand my reach, talk to other people with other channels, have a platform that so many other former Scientologists or even under the radar Scientologists do reach out to me because, well, I'm kind of everywhere. It's one of the benefits of putting up so much content, and that's actually an intentional. There's intentionality to that. I've told all these other creators, guys, you got to put out as much as you can. Like, don't just put up content just for the sake of content. Have it be interesting, have it be topical, have it be relevant, have it be entertaining and funny. But like when your friends who are still in Scientology wander onto the internet, you want there to be a really good chance that YouTube's going to serve up your face to them. And I'll tell you, if you only got 10 videos or 1 video a week or 2 videos a week, do 2 a day. Would you have a reason not to? And even some other people I can think of who sort of throw shade at me sometimes for doing so many videos because, well, some of us have day jobs. And I go, why? I promise you I'm making more money doing these videos than you're making at your day job. What's your excuse? Get your ass on YouTube, put up a shitload of content since you think you're such hot shit anyway. And you could make 2 times as much money doing videos as you're doing working your ass off at your day job. What's your fucking excuse? I'm not naming names, but you guys know who I'm talking about. He's like, we don't do it for the money. We just do it to get out the good word. Well, what if you did it for both? What if, since you think your videos are putting out the good word, why wouldn't you do that full time and use the opportunity to replace your day job income with income from getting out the good word? Isn't it crazy when you hear actually people throw shade at someone, not just me, but mainly me, who does a lot of content? Yeah. If your videos are putting out the good word, then why wouldn't you take advantage of the opportunity to do more than that? Anyway, I'm starting to get a little annoyed right now. So let's abandon that line of commentary. Penko says, we can tell you love doing this, which is why you are so successful. You know what? That probably is, you know what? You guys especially know, I have a very high energy, cheerful demeanor. I think I possibly have overlooked just that just how much that aspect or that element of my videos make them watchable. There are other people who have, I don't know, maybe more exotic Scientology experiences than I do, or maybe have more things historically to talk about than I do. But their videos aren't that watchable. And I've tried to coach other channels how to get better at that. I've tried to say, look. You cannot spend 2 minutes of your video introducing yourself. So you have to understand that almost everyone watching your video has no idea who you are. They don't even know what your damn video is about. They've probably never heard of Scientology. You want your videos to appeal to potentially anyone in the world, not just people who know who you are already. I said you have to start your video with something that someone who has no idea who you are and has no idea what you're talking about, in the first 10 seconds, they're like, I'm listening. And I think my high energy positiveness comes across very early on in the video, obviously. And I think probably does contribute to the I'm listening. What else do you have to say? And that's true, because not everyone has that personality. That's a really good point. Or I think you just made a comment, but yeah, that's an interesting thing to consider. Let me see. Eat More Pizza Now says, question, are member lives monetized as well? Asking for a friend. I do believe they are. When I set up this live, it did. Yes, they are monetized. They are monetized. Which is, it'll be interesting to see. I don't know how the monetization is different though. So like on a normal video that's monetized, even if I'm doing a live stream, I believe it shows ads in the middle of the live stream sometimes. Like when I'm doing the live stream, I cannot tell if YouTube is showing you guys ads or not. Like I don't even know how that works, but I'm pretty sure it does. But then as soon as the video is over, it automatically uploads as like, something you can watch again. And then you've got to go in and you've got to add your ad breaks or make sure YouTube didn't put in way too many ads. Like you do have to manually mess with ad breaks. But on a members only live, oh, that's right. This live stream will stay up as a replayable stream. It will just only ever be replayable for members. Wow, that didn't occur to me. Yes. So the answer is yes. These members only live streams are monetized. All right. I'm looking. Have you and your Marissa S. Martin says, have you and your oldest started talking about colleges? Does she know where she wants to go? My oldest, who by the way is not the one at the end of my videos, the one at the end of my videos is my youngest. My oldest, who's 17, she's a senior in high school, but she is doing dual enrollment this year, where she's doing her last year of high school and her first year of college at the same time. So my oldest is actually enrolled at St. Pete College, and she has straight A's this year. She is a little genius. Yeah. So yeah, the way I've told my kids is, because, guys, I didn't go to college. I didn't even go to high school. And Scientologists, have this conditioning of just looking very, very much down on higher education. And what's interesting is that even some of the most successful people in the world also somewhat look down on the actual value of higher education. I'm thinking Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk. And so, but the conversation that I've had with my kids about college is, hey, look, I want you to go to college if you want to go to college. Like, I want you to go for your own reasons. I don't want you to feel like you have to, and I don't want you to feel like you can't or shouldn't, because that's not how it works. Like, if you want to start a YouTube channel, I'm going to help you start a YouTube channel. My oldest is she's been cooking and baking since she was like 6. Said, if you want to open a bakery, I don't necessarily want you to feel like you need to go to 4 years of college in order to open a bakery, because you don't. But if you just want, if there's some subject you're passionate about studying deeply and you want to spend 4 years doing that, I want you to do it for you, but not because you think society needs you to do it, because it doesn't anymore. If you want to be a doctor, I want you to be a doctor. If you want to be in some professional field that requires a college education, then that's a good reason to get a college education. And I said, but it's also why their whole lives, both Heather, their mom, and I have been very, very tough with them on their schoolwork and their grades. Tough in the sense of really enforcing the importance of it. And the lesson on that has been, the reason you need to get these good grades is so that if you go to college, you can go to whatever college you want. And if you don't want to go to college, then fine. But if you get bad grades, it's going to be much harder to get into the college that you want. And I want you to be qualified for as many scholarships as you're eligible for, or whatever. And you're going to get that by getting the good grades. So yeah. She's doing fantastic. And so, but like, if she wants to go like a full 4 years, would she go for the full 4 years to St. Pete College? I'm not sure. I also don't really know. Is there really a huge, like, it would kill me, the idea of my daughter going off, like, not out of state, but even out of city. Like Heather's brother's daughter. So my girl's cousin. She's college age, and she went off to, I don't know, was it Orlando, some other Florida city that's a few hours, 2 or 3 hours away from her parents. That would kill me. I'd be like, why do you want to go to school over there if you could just be going to school over here? What's the difference? It's all just school. So I want them to be able to go somewhere local. And St. Pete College is kind of a well-respected college in our area. So anyway, that's a very long answer. There you go. Wonderful Popcorn SP says, that's how the college conversation went with my daughter. And she's 14 and she starts high school this fall. I told her she can work, go to college. It's up to her, but she's got to do something. Yeah. Well, I only thought I was going to do this for about 20 or 30 minutes. It's been about an hour and 40 minutes. This has been a lot of fun. It's great being able to scroll up and down all the comments in the live chats and being able to find them easily, and be able to talk just to you guys. I'm going to be doing a lot of this. This is a lot of fun. I'm going to promote in the videos that I'm going to do these members only live streams. And if people want to join, then it's a much better experience, don't you guys think? This is a much better experience than me doing a Q&A with like 3,000 people watching and only reading super chats. I like this. All right, guys. Holy shit, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Let's call it a night, shall we? This has been a lot of fun. I'll probably just keep doing this with no notice because that's just how I do everything. And yeah, let's do this again soon, you guys. Have a great night.